Hello everyone and welcome to today's lecture. In our last lecture, we generated our first AI image using Google Colab. However, we only input a simple prompt without any explanation. And today we're going to talk about what a prompt is and how it works. But first, just open your Stable Diffusion web UI page. If you don't remember, that is in your Google Colab page. Open your web browser and search Google Colab. And in Recent window, click the one you copied from last lecture. And I will open this one. Go through every step we talked earlier. Now pause the video and open Stable Diffusion web UI page. And I will see you there. I will assuming you have opened your Stable Diffusion web UI page. And let's talk about what is prompt. If you're wondering what prompt means, let me explain it to you in a simple and easy to understand way. A prompt is basically a short piece of text that you write to tell the Stable Diffusion what kind of image you want it to generate. It's like giving it a hint or a direction. Well, let's say you want to generate an image of a Labrador puppy. You might input a Labrador puppy into Stable Diffusion. But will Stable Diffusion just give you the result you want? Let's hit Generate. Every first time you run this might take a little longer. Let's wait for some time. Here's the result. Okay, some of you might say, yes, this is exactly what I want. But others may raise objections. Why is there only the head of a Labrador puppy? So, maybe in your mind, a Labrador puppy means a full-body image of a Labrador puppy, or an image of a Labrador puppy running on the grass. But if you don't specify all these elements in your prompt, Stable Diffusion may give you an image of a Labrador puppy sleeping in the bed. Okay, let's improve this prompt a bit. Say, a Labrador puppy running on the grass. Hit Generate. As you can see, I just added the keyword running and Stable Diffusion generated the legs of the puppy. This is because the action of running requires the legs. You may ask, it looks good, but why is the cute puppy exceeding the frame? Well, that's because you haven't told it not to exceed the frame. At this point, you need to tell Stable Diffusion not to exceed the frame. How? Simple, just write out of frame in the negative prompt field. Let's try again. Alright, now our boy finally appears fully in the frame. At this point, you may start complaining about the composition again. Why isn't he in the center of the image? Okay, let's add centered to the prompt and see. Wow, and he is in the center of the image, and look how happy he is. Now this is all randomly generated, but if you want a happy dog, you can add happy to the prompt. Hit Generate. You might have noticed that the puppy with golden hair we had earlier turned into black hair. That's because you didn't specify its hair color. Let's add golden hair to the prompt. Now you have a happy golden-haired Labrador playing around in the grass. However, you may notice that the image looks a bit blurry and not much details in some areas. So let's add high detail to the prompt. So you can see that there are more details in the picture now. You might feel like the image isn't very clear, so let's increase the clarity of the image. To increase clarity, we can use keywords like sharp focus, ultra high resolution, or 8K to the prompt field, and blurry to the negative prompt. Let's hit generate. Sometimes you might get an image like this. We might encounter such situation where you gave a prompt to Stable Diffusion, but it didn't give you the desired outcome. Well, don't worry, it happens occasionally. The thing is, Stable Diffusion doesn't always produce the exact image we want, even if we give it specific keywords like golden hair. However, using prompts can help increase the probability of getting the image we want. So, if you want to emphasize golden hair, you can try tweaking the prompt to give it more weight. Just remember, sometimes you may need to experiment a little to get the results you're looking for. To increase the weight of a certain word, you can do the following. Select the word or phrase that you want to emphasize. If you're using Windows, hold down the Control key. If you're on a Mac, hold down the Command key. Then use the up or down arrow keys to adjust the weight of the selected word or phrase. So, basically by doing this, we increase the chances of getting a golden Labrador puppy in the generated image. If you feel that this Labrador puppy's is kind of deformed, you can add these keywords in the negative prompt, which will significantly improve the quality of the result. I will provide these keywords in the files for this lecture. You can also adjust the weight of the keywords in the negative prompt field using the methods I introduced earlier. Now, challenge time. Please feel free to generate your Labrador puppies using the technique I just showed you. Pause the video and have a go. After this lecture, I hope you have a basic understanding of what a prompt is. And during the early stages of learning, I strongly recommend that you write your own prompts, rather than copying someone else's prompt from the internet, and expecting to get the same or similar result. Firstly, the Stable Diffusion generated image effect depends not only on your prompt, although it's a core element, but also on many other factors, such as the Stable Diffusion model you are using. We'll discuss this in future lecture. The prompts they posted on the internet may not be good, but they may happen to use these prompts to generate a very good image, and the person who posted it may not even tell you how many hours it took to generate those images. So let's not waste our valuable time on those things. This is also why I didn't introduce any websites to you at the beginning. I hope that during the initial learning period, you won't get too distracted by those websites. However, I'll recommend very comprehensive resources that are suitable for further learning in later lecture. And that is all for today's lecture. In our next lecture, we'll learn about the main components of a prompt, including medium, shot angle, lighting, and more. Then we'll learn about how the order of prompt affects the actual result. Thank you for attending to this course, and I'll see you in the next lecture.